What is going on, guys? This is Subs No Dubs, episode 7, and we are back again on our anime grind. School's starting back, and we have a new guest. I guess that's another one. Someone different for once. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Konnichiwa! What's up? I'm Wes. I'm a recent anime newbie. I've only been watching for like a year and a half now. So, but you know what? I was a hater for a long time. I finally simped. I'm a weeb.
I respect it. So it's your same hosts as usual. My name's Casey. That's Toonie to my right. There we go. And we're gonna hop right into it. We got a very small group of discussion topics, but there's a lot of topics to go through. Like, I'll start off right away. Yeah. Well, we got what we're watching right now because it's COVID, and honestly, like, I have so much extra time, even with school, because school's online. I have a lot of free time to just sit down and watch TV. I can't really go out as much. And then also, it's pretty much the end of the summer 2020 seasons of anime, and most of the shows are ending or already finished, and
except for Haiku.
Yeah,
yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
And God of Highschool and SAO are finished, and we're going to do our final review of them because they deserve it, and they've almost lived, I think they lived up to their hype. They both ended in interesting ways, but they ended nevertheless. So, let's hop right on into it. Wes, what are you watching right now, man?
Okay, so, with COVID-19 going on, we all had a lot of time on our hands. I spent a lot of time gaming, of course. But I finished up the anime I was watching. But, I said, I gotta start something. This is the time. I've got more free time than I've ever had on my hands before. So I watched One Piece. Fucking 960 episodes, So at this point, it's been roughly 5 months. I'm 600 and something episodes deep, only 300 more to go, which is like 30 times more than most episodes or like animes in general. So yeah, it'll be a while, but it's really good. I gotta say, like, I understand why people like speak so highly of it. It's like one of the most sold mangas of all time. It's like still going on at this point. And I mean, what I really got to give to it, like, first of all, like, Luffy, the main character, he's top tier 1 best boy characters of all time.
Really?
I don't know about that.
No,
one,
no.
Listen,
I think you ask anyone, like, I'm not saying like number 1, like overall. I think I'm saying like if you put like a tier S tier, right?
He needs to be up there.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it's like part of like just how like obviously how strong he is. Like it's a lot of fights going on. So like he's obviously a very strong character.
Isn't it typical like shonen mainstream anime protagonist where it's like I go out, I train for like this, like however long, and then I got a power up, and then I beat the villain, and then I do it like all over again. Isn't it sort of like that?
So it's definitely similar. Like you learn he comes from like a lineage of like strong people. Like his grandfather and father are both important, strong characters. But he was like left on his own basically to like fight for himself and grew up on his own. So yeah, it's very like similar. But I think what like really brings it home is like his humor. Like he's a very like it's very similar to Naruto. Naruto when he started out was a very like brain dead like kid that was just like had this latent power that like made him strong. So once he learned it, like he obviously became strong. But like Luffy from the beginning like trained very hard. So he kind of always was like training from the beginning for this. So he was always ready, but he's still like brain dead dumb about like certain things. Like he has the most flat comments to like returns answers to people. For example, like there's this famous clip, and it's like talking about we shouldn't trust this person because they could betray us at any time. And he turns to this important character, his name is Trafalgar Law, and says, "Are you gonna betray me?" And Law says no. And
that's my kind of comment.
Luffy turns to his like the person says, "See, like it must be the truth." Like he like doesn't doubt it one bit.
Wow.
He's like, so confident and everything. Like he has those kind of answers, and like he's always just like running into a fight, and everyone else is like, "Where's Luffy?" And Luffy's just like balls deep in like 1,000 people, like beating the shit out of them. Dude, he's such a good character, and like he just develops. Like he gets shit on, he gets better. Like obviously you're saying basic.
Typical shonen, yeah.
But the other thing is like I watched a video about One Piece, and it was like, why is One Piece so good and so highly respected? It's because it has 960 episodes. So don't ditch a character to the side. Oh. So you'll meet a character in like episode 5, and you don't just like ditch that character. It's like that's a side character for one episode or 2 episodes or an arc. You'll meet them like 5 arcs later, 600 episodes down the line, and they come back. Like they don't just ditch a character. There's no meaningless characters in One Piece, and I think that's like what's so like beautiful about how long it is and how good it is.
Huh.
So yeah.
Would you say it's worth the 900 episodes? Like.
I mean, I think you at least like should look up the story. Maybe watch some kind of like review thing, because I mean it's a lot to ask someone to dedicate time to watch 960 episodes. But I mean, obviously with filler, it's probably more like 700 or so. But so yeah, like that's hard to ask anyone. But if you have like the free time or you're willing to do it and watch some on the side here and there, it's definitely worth watching if you're willing to. But I know it's not for everyone to watch that many episodes.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like
I think that's fine. That's fine. That's understandable.
I think it's the reason why I haven't started it though, right? It's because it's just so daunting to see 900 episodes. Like, yeah, I watched Naruto, but there's a decent amount of filler in Naruto too. So what was 700 episode pretty much turns into like nearly 500 because of all the filler. So to hear 900 to 700, which is the full Naruto episode log, is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and to that I would say at least just like watch some YouTube videos to like get some get a like an overview of what's going on and like the major plot lines and how stuff, maybe like the best fights of the series, like that kind of stuff. Probably worth watching.
You were smart to start at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, I just like full send it, dude. Like so, like I said, I like started anime like a year and a half ago. I literally just started with Naruto. Thanks to Toonie. Toonie's like, just trust me, bro. Just watch it, dude. You'll like it.
I feel like when you're starting off, bro, it's like the most like mainstream thing there is. Well, besides like Boku no Hero now, or like that's the most like relatable anime to like Western culture. So that's what I'd normally put people on to first.
It's a good suggestion. I like would highly suggest it as a first one. I mean, I went from that into Hunter x Hunter, and Hunter x Hunter is probably my favorite. I don't know why. I just really fucking liked it.
Okay, wait. I have a quick question. Did you like the bug arc at the end?
No. So the only thing good that came out of the bug arc was like the end fight.
Thank you.
And, like,
okay.
The major stuff throughout.
Wait,
like,
dude, I was mid cry.
Like I wish.
That's what I said too, bro. I got so much hate for because I dropped it like in the middle of the ant arc or whatever because like
the Chimera
it was so slow. There was like nothing happening.
I cried my eyes out at the end. That shit was so sad.
But I think if you watch, like I told people, like at least watch that show up to the bug arc. Like you'll maybe, like skip to the end of the bug arc to like those last fights.
Wait. What's people always say like the bug arc's like the best arc, but bro, I'm telling you,
I don't know if it's the best arc.
The tower arc, bro.
The tower arc's probably the best in my opinion.
The tower arc was by far my favorite, dude.
I mean, of course, I love like the beginning, actual Hunter Games arc. I think like that's a classic. Like you can't just like forget about that. But yeah, like the tower arcs where they like.
That's where they got their ability.
Yeah, that's where they got. That's where they like truly power.
And that's kind of where you see Killua go berserk on kids too, which is awesome.
Yeah, I also think we go back to the bug arc. Like I think people say that because it's so good because of the end. Like
the ending was so good.
Like fighting the Ant King and then with Gon and everyone just going off like.
You basically see Gon go full.
Like, that distracts you from the rest.
Yeah, but I feel like there's definitely like a recency bias when like people think of the arc, you know? Because they're literally just thinking about those like last
the final fights, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just in general like if you come across like a really like favorite episode of yours and like best part, you forget about the bad stuff around it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what happened. But yeah, going back to the topic, so watching One Piece. Sticking with watching Haiku as it was coming out, and now it's a break. And then started watching like SAO, staying current with SAO, staying current with anything else. I'm trying to think about what other things are coming out.
God of Highschool.
Yeah, God of Highschool, Tower of God.
But
yeah, so that brings me to the last week. I got kind of in my feels, I guess you could say, and I needed a break from One Piece. I needed some lighthearted romantic comedy shit, and I watched Rent a Girlfriend.
What a good show.
It was so fucking good, and I was like in my feels, still like heart fluttering. Like I need to watch some more shit to like.
Okay, I have a few quick points about Rent a Girlfriend because I'm on a. So speaking of things we're watching, I just started Rent a Girlfriend. I'm on episode 2. This dude jerks off a lot.
Yeah, he does do that a lot.
It continues.
I mean, it felt kind of. I'm glad they went to the college life, because that's become a pretty like unusual thing in anime. It's usually high school a lot. So to have another university anime. What was the other one? Run with the Wind. Was the other?
Run with the Wind. Yeah.
That was another university-based one. And so I really like the university feel. It's a little bit older, right? I like the fact that he's having a hard time his first year. He just broke up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool, and then so he's having a hard time, and I enjoyed like the concept. The concept behind it is so fascinating, and I really want to know where this story goes. So I'm only 2 episodes in. I think you both are caught up.
Yeah. Just to add on to that, bro. Like, I know you said you just started watching like romance, like comedy animes, bro. But I'm telling you, this is like scratching the surface, bro. Wes, when I tell you there's so many other animes that are better than Rent a Girlfriend, bro.
Wait, okay, wait, Wes, I'll give you one. I'll give you one right now before they give you listen.
Go ahead.
Toonie put me on to this one called Sakura no
Pet Joe or something.
Dude,
Pet Girl of
Wes, I cried my eyes out watching that. I've never cried so much during like a show.
You know the DM.
Don't.
That's not even a sad anime.
I know it wasn't. Your Lie in April was good too. That's another one I watched. But I think I just cut Wes off though. Wes, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I was just I got my feels. I watched Rent a Girlfriend, and then I went to Kaguya-sama Love Is War, and now I'm on Snafu, dude. So like,
so good.
Romantic comedies are flawed.
I've been going through them a lot lately too. I feel like some of these romance animes get a lot of bad rep though. Like I feel like if you go look like my anime list, a lot of them have like low ratings because they don't end off the way people want them to end out. Yeah. I think that's what happens though, right? Like although the story might be amazing, people don't get the ending they want, and then it's like.
But I think the problem with like that specific genre too is like a lot of the times there's not like a definite like ending or like a pairing or whatever. It's usually like
what's the one that did that? Was it Nesekoi that did that to me that I got really mad?
Well, Nisekoi's only like two seasons in.
2
but
seasons.
I know the manga finished and they like, wrapped it up well.
That one really upset me. I gave it like a 6. I was so mad.
Yeah. Well, that was season 2.
Season 2. I loved season 1 though. Season 1 was really good.
Well, I think that's a common dynamic in any romantic comedy, like Western or anime. Like, there's always usually a love triangle or maybe like multiple potential suitors like involved, and the audience always has opinion of who they want to be together, and they usually never totally agree on it.
Of course,
it's like you see in like the Hunger Games, right? Like people pick the side, like Twilight, people pick the side of who they want to be with who, and like I think it's even more so like in anime, like the writers aren't afraid to like make kind of like a risky plot decision.
I like that though.
We might not want to like give everyone like the pure happiness. Like I think of like Naruto, right? You think at the end of like Shippuden, you had the wedding with Naruto and Hinata, and I wanted to see more, and they just cut it.
Yeah.
Like anime writers aren't afraid to do that.
I feel like they want to give you the imagination to like just picture it yourself, and then. So I think it's like kind of like a touching note, though, right? It's like, hey, look, we've given you an ending. Think of it how you want to think of it, pretty much, right? Like.
I hate that.
I hate it. There's sometimes where I hate it.
Everyone in like 10 years.
They did though.
In life.
Didn't they?
Yeah, for Naruto.
At least for Naruto.
Obviously, but there's so many shows that it's like I want to see what happens in like 15. Like 10, 15 years. I want to see where everyone ends up, like what everyone's doing.
Toons was telling me in Teasing Master Takagi-san. Apparently.
No.
Bro, it's basically about these 2 little kids. They're in like middle school or whatever, right? And like the girl, like she has a big crush on the guy, and like he's like an airhead, bro. He like has not realized anything.
The
bro.
biggest
and
idiot
all
of all
she
time.
does is tease him throughout like
Damn.
every day of school, bro. It's the most cute shit.
Bro,
It's
it's like-
super cute.
So Love is War is like crazy to me. It's like, dude, like they're these two like perfect humans, and they just like won't admit that they like each other,
Bro,
They're just, like,
okay,
let's
so
make this a battle.
Bro, dude, Toonie told me to watch Love is War really early when I started watching anime, and I kept putting it off. I'm like, what a stupid idea! Two people who love each other but won't say anything. But the format that the show chose to go with, this super short format, like 7-minute pieces, is so funny, and the narrator might be one of my favorite characters ever. I think he plays a less prevalent role in more recent seasons, but he's so good.
Like, it took me a couple episodes to kind of get used to the format and
Mm-hmm.
the narrator and stuff, because like I wasn't sure how I felt about it. And I think, like you said, like the more it went in, it got kind of less important of the narrator. There was like, a little bit more like interaction between the characters, which is just like what I prefer. Like I just prefer like I want to see the characters interact and what happens there. But yeah, like some of the things that the narrator adds is definitely like good and like helps the romantic comedy aspect.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to feel. I really like the laid back like
Life.
emotional feel of like other animes that don't have that narrator aspect.
I feel like it's a nice change of pace though from the usual that you get, right?
Yeah,
like it's the actual comedic version of a lot of these things.
Definitely found their niche in like the romantic comedy genre.
Oh, 100%.
It's like it's always going to be their thing.
Yeah, and
anyone else who tries to copy that's like, yeah, you're just copying.
You're just copying Love is War. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that all you've been watching? Love is War, One Piece.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the One Piece 960 episodes, bro. I don't got time for much else, but you know, I'm sticking with the with the stuff like the God of Highschool. Yeah, Snafu's my current one. I'm about second season, like 4 episodes in.
You're a grinder, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't know. Like I watched like Ace of Diamond.
You finished it?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Good man.
I think I might have stopped like an episode short because they were starting like a new game. Whatever the game is, it got cut off. So
yeah.
I didn't even want to watch the first episode of the game. I'm just not gonna watch it yet.
It was good.
Yeah. So yeah, basically I'm just sitting here waiting for Haiku and Attack on Titan, also coming out in December. So very
December 1st, I think, or December 2nd.
7th, but it's early December, and then Haiku is like a week. Basically.
Yep. 4 days.
I think this Friday, so yeah.
I'm so excited. Toonie says he reads the manga for that, so he says this season is gonna be pretty nuts.
Dude, I actually DM'd Toonie like a couple months ago. I've been getting like targeted ads on Facebook. So, like, I followed like an anime, like I don't know, it was like anime something whatever on Facebook page, and like it does a lot of like spoilers, talks about manga, and like it'll have like an article be like, this is what happened in One Piece.
Oh no.
But anyways, but it's irrelevant. I also started getting targeted ads for like Haiku merch, and it's dead ass like jerseys from their eventual teams.
Oh my god!
Like, at the end of the manga.
No.
People have already made like jersey merch for those teams, like their professional teams, and I'm like, Toonie, there's like 2 teams, and it has the players for each of them. It's like, yeah, like this person's playing with these people, and this person's playing with these people against each other, and I'm like, Toonie, what's up with this? Cause, like,
shit!
I'm the type that doesn't care about spoilers.
Okay.
I want to know the spoiler and then look for like the clues that lead up to that happening.
Okay.
So like, I don't mind knowing spoilers at all. So yeah, I was like, what happens with this? Why is this happening? Or what happens here? And Toonie like explained everything to me. I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Shit. Well, for me, I guess we'll go to my stacked list of anime that I've watched. This could take a moment. We'll go through this. So I rewatched Steins Gate because. So I had to. Let me explain to you why though, because Toonie's not in his head again, like the first ever episode of the show. But it's because Toonie made that note that he thought it was a bad show. So I sat there again and tried to like criticize this show as hard as I could. I couldn't find a reason to criticize this show. It's not slow.
It is slow.
It is not though. Everything's
man on the microwave, bro.
But you have to understand that they're trying to find out that they're heading to what's that? CERN. They're trying to find CERN, and it's the company that, like, if that company finds out that there's a time machine, it'll destroy the world.
Okay.
And then, Toonie, it leads to World War III. Like, there are real consequences. And then eventually, I don't want to go too deep into this, but like eventually, because I think Wes wants to watch this.
Probably eventually.
And then eventually, like, it gets. Eventually, it gets like really serious, and then like there's genuine consequences, and then he's like, you know how in ReZero when they go back in time, like he's slowly getting more insane, and like he's really frustrated.
Yeah, he feels the effects of it.
Yeah, and that sort of happens to him as well. So it's really cool. I still give it a 10, man. It's still my favorite. I'm surprised
if you're comparing it to ReZero, I might start watching it because ReZero is like season 1's a masterpiece, bro.
Okay, you can talk to Alex. Remember Alex? So I talked to Alex and told Alex that you hated it. He's like, "There's no way you hated it." And then I said, "You liked ReZero." He's like, "How does he like ReZero and not like this?"
Yeah. But the thing with ReZero was that it was so instant, bro.
Like
you got into the story, you know what I mean?
What episode did you finish at? 3? 4? You have to give it a bit, because I know, like, for me, like, the story like does a full 180 switch at like episode 12. The whole story switches though. It leads up to episode 12 though, and like you meet another character.
Wait,
I think.
How many episodes is it?
24.
24. That's not bad. But see, that's the problem, bro. You gotta go, wait, like.
Do you remember?
Into the show.
Do you remember? I don't know. Fuck. Did she even come in episode 3 or 4? Suzuha.
I was gonna say I kind of agree with you. And you like a show's gotta grab you like within a couple episodes.
I feel like the show does grab you though. It just you need to pay attention to what happens.
I'll definitely give you my opinion when I watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just that's my.
And then like what show what show gives you both options that you wanted? This show, after season 1 ends, they have an alternate version of episode 23 that has a different outcome of what happened in episode 23 that leads off into a second series. So what happened, because of those little changes that happened in episode 23, leads to a whole new season, and it's like just as good.
So wait, is it an alternate like reality?
Yeah, it's a whole alternate reality.
Alternate ending.
It gives you, but the alternate ending is a whole season. You get a whole season of the alternate ending.
Yeah, so it's like fanfare. So it's like it gives you one ending.
Okay,
and it's like, if you're upset about that ending, here's
another ending, and then here's a movie on top of that.
Jesus.
So, like
that's good. That's a good definitely a good decision. I like that.
So, and I think Wes would like the humor. I don't know if Tanu liked the Makise Chris, the red hair girl. She's like a full-fledged tsundere. Like she's like always angry all the time. So I think the more you get into the show, you get to really like the characters. There's like the cat girl. Like her story gets really crazy. I actually really enjoy her story a lot. And then Sheena Mairi, the girl with the blue dress all the time. I don't know if you liked her, but she's super cute.
I don't remember.
She's like the first member of his lab.
Intern or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
And she's like super cute. I love that show. It's still a 10 for me. It will never change.
I'll remind you, it's still No Sim September.
I hate to break it to you, man. I've been simping left and right lately.
Going out for another Fallen Boy.
Shit, I would, but I have my keyboard here. Fire Force. I started and caught up to Fire Force. They're halfway through season 2 at the moment. Really good show. The show has an awkward rating. I think on my anime list, I have it up in front of me right now. It's a 7.72. I can't give it a 7.72, man. This show is really good. The animation style, the animation art is stunning. Like, the story is actually pretty interesting. It's a true shonen. It's super fun, super action-packed. Really good. I also watched Your Lie in April for the first time.
Banger.
So I used to play piano as a kid growing up, and like...
Oh, shit.
Dude. Hey, Wes, you look just like him.
I do. Dude.
Remember the anime filter?
Don't put the anime picture in. Like,
I'll do it in post. I promise. Dude, the photo is great. You look just like him, man.
I swear, I look like Kosei, dude. I was like, immediately, I'm like, dude, I look like Kosei.
But man, I cry. Like, it wasn't even the like final ending of the show that got me sad. It was like episode 19 to 21. Like those 3 episodes were like super sad, and
hit you like super hard, and then like
that's when you find her that oh my god.
The note. Like,
yeah. And then like you actually felt like the music he was playing, like it actually felt like so deep. You're like, whoa, like music's special, man. Like I think that's the thing about music is like it hits people differently. It has a different effect on people. People think of it in a different way. It was super good. I gave that a 10. That's one of the few shows that are in my like 10s category.
Yeah.
So
one of the best, probably the best romantic anime of all time.
It's up there, I think.
I can't think of anything that's considered like that big, you know.
We'll talk about this later in the show, but SAO finished. I watched all the way. I finished Snafu. Loved Snafu. The ending, spectacular. Chef's kiss. Like, I'm glad they ended it the way they did. As far as I know, that is the last season.
Yeah, it's like a pretty old. Like I looked it up, and like the first season's from like 2015 or something. Yeah,
like I think as far as I know, this is the final season, and I don't mind the way they ended it. I'm glad there was closure, so that makes me happy. I think you'll like a lot, Wes.
If I don't get the ending I want, dude, I'm gonna be pissed.
It's so. What ending do you want, Wes?
What is her name? Yuki Shinito or whatever, the black haired long girl.
Yeah, Yukino.
Kiki together. If they're not together, I'm fucking rioting. I am rioting.
Okay, we'll see, bro.
Wait.
Fucking pissed.
Wait, what season are you on? 1?
Season 2. Like, episode like 4 or 5.
Okay.
I thought you'd be more of a. I thought you'd be more of a Hachiman and your favorite over there, Wes.
Okay, listen, shut up. Alright, so like backstory, dude. I'm explaining myself, but I DM Casey and I says, "Is this kind of sus?" But the homosexuality humor in the Snafu has me fucking crying.
It is so okay.
Funny, dude.
As much as I want to roast you, bro, it is so funny the way that he like reacts to it too. He like almost like enjoys it in a sense. Like
so for backstory, in Snafu, the main character obviously is a boy, and there's another boy who he meets through the tennis club or gym or whatever, and they purposely make this boy very feminine, and the main character constantly refers to him as cute. And
yeah,
like, it gets very distracted and confused for a second. It's like, oh my god, this girl is so cute. Oh wait, it's a boy. I gotta stop.
You gotta stop.
There's so many like exchanges that is so funny between them, and like they purposely do that. But there's also another girl that has this like weird obsession with boy like male homosexuality.
I can't remember who it is.
Like, anytime two boys are together, she loses her shit. It has like nose.
I can't remember who it is.
The standard anime like having a boner. Instead of having a boner, they have nosebleeds.
I can't remember who it is though.
All the time.
Toonie, can you remember which character it is?
I have no idea.
Her name is like Ebina or Edina.
It's been years.
Does she have glasses?
Yeah, that's her name because I literally just watched an episode with her.
Oh my god, I can't remember, but like that shit's so funny.
It's very funny. It's hard to explain without like watching it, but it makes you laugh. And the show is just like genuinely so good. Like there's so many like good characters. Like it's definitely like a must-watch romantic comedy anime if you are into that kind of a thing. Which obviously, like I feel like it's another step the weeb chart. You know, you start at shonen, right? Like that's your intro into anime. And you're like, this is sick. And then you're like, how far up do I want to go? And you hit romantic comedy at some point. And you're like, I'm full weeb.
You just hit it.
Can't even hide it.
You got invested, man.
Yeah, dude.
100%. You have to.
The whole reason I got into anime is just because, like, the Japanese writers are on another level.
Bro, they
like,
just
compared to American writers, like they develop characters better than any American writers do.
The character
like,
development is
are, like,
so good,
complex, and like have so like they do like the music is always like top tier,
Yep.
hits the perfect spots with like the perfect level of emotion to like get you invested.
Yeah.
Like God of High School, we can talk about later, but the music hit perfectly in God of High School too. You know, it's just like the music like lifts the show up. It's like
100%. I think that's like what's good about it though, is like the music adds to the.
Yeah, I will always have respect for Japanese writers. They are fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and Rent a Girlfriend's the last one for me, so I pretty much covered all my things.
Season 2 got confirmed.
Confirmed. Yeah, I'm glad that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Tunes, have you?
For me, well, like I started off watching like a lot of movies recently, so I've watched Kimi no Na wa, Weathering with You, and 7 centimeters per second, which are like 3 of like the most like biggest or well-known anime movies. And Casey, for some odd reason, decided to skip Kimi no Na wa and Weathering with You and watch 7 centimeters per second, like only.
Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen my anime list recently or even keep up with it. That is the first and only item to ever receive a 5. It is the oh my god.
So I did the same thing before you guys did it. Like
oh my god,
I watched
what a
in
mess.
theaters when it came out.
Weathering was so.
You watched in theaters?
I knew I went to theaters. Like I sat next to some kid that was full weeb that lost his fucking shit, and I was cringing the whole time.
What, was he crying at the end, right?
He did some like weird like, oh my god, so good.
It was that good.
I was like I don't know if I can do this again. Like I just need a theater to myself, please. Like I love movie theaters. Like I think it's the best way to watch a movie.
100%.
But like I hate being around people that are like obnoxious. Yeah. But anyways.
By the way, just quickly, it's 5 centimeters per second, not 7.
Oh, 5 centimeters per second. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes. So I went through the same phase as you guys. I looked up the director of Weathering with You, or like the creator or whatever, and I was like, oh, he has like all these other movies, like Your Name. Like I recognize that. I think I've heard people mention it. So I watched Your Name. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. This is like,
okay.
Like Weathering with You, I think was like a little bit like more of a complete like relatable story. Like it's like not as Your Name was a little bit out there, but it was like done so well.
They were both a little bit out there, to be honest. There's both that like supernatural kind of like
I agree.
genre. Like
Your Name was just like I do, and the fucking like plot twist in Your Name, like just like shadows.
Oh yeah, that was
okay.
You'd be like, what the fuck? And then the ending, of course, is just like yes.
I think I need to watch them.
I looked up more, and I think I went to Garden of Words or whatever it is. I don't think you guys have seen that one yet.
Not yet, no.
So that one was probably like my third favorite in his list.
I heard it's short though. I heard it's like super short.
It is like an hour, but it's like a super like good like emotion story with like a little weird twist. You know, it tackles like a weird like dynamic. That's all I'm gonna say. And then I did watch the 5 centimeters per second, and I love that. That's the one that's in the 3 parts, right?
Yeah, that's like 3 different stories or whatever.
First part was like insane. Like it matched like the rest of the stuff like very good. Second part, like it started to go away a little bit, like, but it was still like it kind of kept me in.
Nah, dude. After the first part, like it just dropped off for me. Because like the second part was
dropped
like
off. I'm not gonna deny it didn't drop off, but
it was a complete flip, bro. Like
I don't
new
think
characters for the most part.
Like you could give like the first part like an 8 or 9, and then you could go to like I think the second part was like a 5. Like I don't think it was that bad. But then
no, the thing for me was, bro, like they made you get so invested in the first part because it was about
you
like
wanted
the whole
those two together. Yeah, you wanted
exactly. Like I wanted to see some like interaction or whatever, but like they just flipped
separate ways.
Yeah, exactly.
and then like I don't even know if I made it through like I may have made it through like 30 seconds of the third part, and I'm like
seriously,
I'm done. I don't remember how much. I actually don't remember anything about the third part. No idea. I just gave up on it. I was like, nope. And then I don't know if any other ones I really even tried to watch it. I think I might have tried to like watch like 5 minutes of another one. And I was just like, nope. I think I got like the main ones, but I think I also need to go back and watch the Studio Ghibli ones.
Yeah, I heard those are really good.
Yeah, so like I had Spirited Away on like VHS when I grew up. Like my parents I don't know why
really?
My parents got it. Like actually, that's like so weird to think about. Like now that I actually watch anime, like I watched Spirited Away like many times, and I was always like, "This is fucking weird."
But I think it's a lot it's like mainstream, isn't it?
It's super mainstream. It's on Netflix.
Sure.
It's on Netflix.
Like you said, like Weathering with You, Your Name is like some of the best anime movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like like definitely modern. Like right now,
I think
like,
recently
they're top, but like Studio Ghibli is considered like the GOAT.
No,
like,
for sure.
All those films are considered like the actual GOAT anime movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go back and watch like some of those. Like I know a lot of them are on HBO Max, I think. So
really?
I need to watch Spirited Away again, and then watch some of the other ones.
HBO has them?
I think HBO did like a deal with Studio Ghibli. It's like we're gonna be your
Big Brain plays by HBO,
which is huge. like honestly, just this kind of off topic, but like so Crunchyroll, I don't know if you know, but AT&T owns them. Actually, like through a parent company, and they're trying to sell them. Right? Like,
hey, yo, Wes, let's put a bid in.
So they offered Crunchyroll to Sony for like $1 billion.
Whoa,
and
that's crazy.
I think Sony said no. So like I think there's still some negotiation going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd honestly like to see like I think the better play for anime in general is just to have like Netflix just be like we own Attack on Titan, we own My Hero, and the West Coast publication, right? Like just get all the big series, put them on fucking Netflix. Like I don't know why I feel like Netflix is like trying to dabble in anime and like
no, they definitely are.
They definitely are. Like I think
they need to make a bigger play.
They did The Great Pretender, which I think I talked about in the last episode, but I thought that was like a really good anime. I enjoyed it. It had a really good style. It did it in like cases, basically. The guy was like a con artist, and they just did three different missions that they had, and which was really cool actually. I think it was a good anime. Super fast paced. Just
I've heard Baki is really good from Netflix.
I heard,
it's like a boxing weird, some kind of like martial arts kind of type. Anime.
I mean, I should watch that.
After last year's like Crunchyroll Awards or Anime Awards, whatever it was, Carol and Tuesday was.
TJ was saying it has one of the best
musical anime. It
has one of the best like music selection of all time.
Every song is sung in
a banger.
Like, they're all amazing. And it's just like the whole show was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Netflix did a great job, and whoever their partner was that created it, did a great job. Like I suggest watching it for sure.
Mm. All right, so next topic, boys?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, we're going to head over on to Summer 2020 recap, pretty much. Most of the shows are done or about to end, and I was just trying to get your guys' opinion on the shows. I'm going to switch right over to the screen share, and these are just all the animes that finished this season. Here, let's see if you guys... There. You guys should be able to see now. I can zoom in. And so, first one is ReZero. How do we feel about that one?
Honestly, I'm not even done ReZero yet, so I can't even give my opinion on that.
I'm on the last episode. I think the newest episode comes out in like 11 hours or something. It's been a really good season. I can't say it's better than the first season though.
Actually, from like the 7 episodes I've watched so far, bro, it's been so much slower, dude, that like it doesn't match the pace of the first season at all. Like the hype was like it was overhyped.
I think this show has an 8. I don't know if you can see it, but it has an 8.66.
Yeah, nah.
And I don't know if I can give it an 8 point. Like it can't be as high as It just can't be as high as the first season. First season has like an 8.4, and I think that's not justified. This show, it might be a better like story, but it's not running.
Well, I think so far the main difference between the first season and this season is like the level of like repetitiveness.
Yeah,
I guess you could say, because the first season was super repetitive, while this one's a lot more like character building for what I've seen, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just like takes you out of the moment, if you know what I mean.
I feel like we're all just waiting for the payoff of this season to happen, and it just never happens. It never happens. It never happens. You just keep waiting for it to happen, and it just doesn't. You don't get it at all, and I think that's what kind of sucks at the moment, is that like you're waiting for a payoff that's just not going to happen, and it'd be really weird for them to put this payoff in the final episode. Yeah. I'd be really weirded out if it happens that way, because that'd be really unfortunate.
I think I mentioned to you, I watched like 2 episodes and dropped it.
Oh yeah, you said you just...
I'm planning on going back eventually, but the time loop at the beginning just really like threw me off. and I just
Yeah.
I don't dig this.
Okay.
But I feel like if you don't like that aspect of it, you're not gonna like the rest of it because like that's like the main theme of the show. Like it's just
Yeah.
like him dying and like living through the same thing again and like trying to overcome like the obstacle that killed him last time, basically. You know.
I think I'll force my way through it if I have to, but I think if I give it like a couple more episodes like to try, I think I'll get into it eventually if it's as good as people say it is. Which
yeah, definitely.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, so like I think I'll like it eventually. I just gotta commit to it again.
Yep.
Next big one is God of Highschool. We're gonna do a full review of this, but this show deserves the hype.
I can't agree with you there, bro.
Really?
I know both of you guys like really like this show, bro. But like to me, it's like
you know my opinions on the show. Well, I'll get to it further when we discuss it in full.
But to say like it deserves the hype, it's simply not true, bro. Because
really,
this is like you can't say it deserves the hype when it's been rushed this much, bro.
Okay. You make a good point though. It being rushed is like one of my key points for like our final review of this.
Yeah.
But like the fight scenes were pretty cool. Like just for the fight scenes alone, like it'd be a fun watch.
But I was gonna say it reminds me of a Transformers movie because I have to turn my brain off and literally just like focus on the action.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what
you just wait for Optimus Prime to fight. That's
exactly.
That's true. That's a good way of putting it, man.
And, bro, and no one puts Transformers movies as like top movies of all time, bro.
But they are popcorn movies, right? Like
that's exactly what they are, bro.
They're solid, respectable movies, but they're not like good,
Snafu, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it really good. Wes, I hope you get to finish it soon. I'll love to talk about it.
I'll probably finish it tomorrow.
Wait, what?
Like, it's like 12, 13 episodes a season, right? So like, I've got like 24 more episodes to go.
Hey,
maybe,
bro,
like,
Wes.
That, like that's like 2 days, dude.
Wes, I hope you lay in your bed and watch like the last season.
Dude, I'm working from home right now.
No.
So
you gotta watch the last season.
Oh, he's chilling.
No, Wes, you gotta watch the last season in your bed alone, just ready for a good cry.
Get the tissues. The cry.
Yeah.
You definitely need to watch the last few ones alone.
Yeah, just watch them. Just like take it in. It's a really good. Rent a Girlfriend. I haven't watched it. I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys take this one.
Have you guys like finished it?
No, I'm on episode 2.
All caught up to season 1.
Okay, well, I don't know if you. Okay, so they did something weird, bro, because they did like an ending, and then they did a credit scene, and then the post-credit scene kind of undid what the ending was supposed to do. I don't know if you kind of noticed that one.
Dude, I don't even really remember.
All right, let's leave it with that.
Because it's going into spoilers, but the ending was kind of iffy. The overall show was decent for a rom-com, in my opinion.
What would you rate it though? Would you give it the 7 that it's getting on?
I'd give it higher.
I'd
give it an 8 probably. Maybe like somewhere
as a show, as an entirety of a show though, like
it's
a 7.5 for me.
Okay.
It's that good. It's fucking good.
I don't know this one.
Yeah.
I feel like this show is one that has like a huge long. You had to have been watching from the first ever season. I think it is, right? Silver Link. No, it's just a one. Nope, I just haven't seen it. Unfortunate. SAO, we'll do our full recap, but SAO. I don't even know what to tell you guys about SAO. I'm gonna be honest.
I have a lot of it. We should definitely just get into
I'm
recap.
I'm gonna skip the SAO one here. Fire Force Season 2, I think was really good. It deserves an 8. I don't think it deserves a 7.8. Uzuki-chan Tunes, have you watched this one?
I think that's basically all I've watched for this season.
This is on my to-watch list. I haven't seen any of these. I plan on watching a few, which is unfortunate. I wish I watched more. This looked interesting, but I don't even know what to say.
What is that?
I want. That's his student. That's his student. her teacher passes by and becomes her hero after stopping the theft of her skirt.
Let's just move on.
Let's stay on that one.
The uncensored episodes were distributed online. Oh boy.
Oh my god. Nope.
Okay, we're gonna keep going down.
Our SAO.
Wait.
SAO review.
I see Boruto.
One Piece, Black Clover. What about Black Clover? Because I hate it.
Black Clover's in filler. I
took
this
a
is
break
bad.
from it. Obviously, like my One Piece and stuff. I stopped at like when they got done with the devil, like the main fight, I guess you could say, with the elves, and then they saved Asta from the trial. And that's where I kind of like stopped. Like they got back to their base after that, and I was like,
it's in filler hell.
And so yeah, my big thing is like I try to stay away from like week to week as much as possible, except for like the big like Haiku, like
you'll watch week
Power
to week,
God, like the big anime. Yeah. But like some of the stuff I like just want to let it collect a little bit so I can binge. You know?
I feel like this one's on hold for me as well. Like right now, I will watch the filler, I think, but it's gonna be like I'm gonna brain dead just watch them and whatever happens. But it's bad right now. I can't watch it. Like,
Boruto, dude.
Do you guys? Nope. Okay, we're just skipping.
I'm up to Jiraiya part.
Jiraiya.
So he like it's a time travel thing.
Nope. Don't even. Nope.
It's not a spoiler. Or
okay. No, I'm sick of it. Just leave Jiraiya dead.
Yeah, it's just like Boruto just like it has.
They're just cashing out, bro. They're cashing out.
It really?
Has its moments, but it's just such a letdown. Like after the original series.
Bro, I will say like the manga, the manga's fire. Like when they adopt the manga, that's gonna be like one of the top animes. Like
really,
out when they do that.
It's that good?
There's no doubt in my mind that it will be.
Food Wars.
But,
Food Wars. It's on my list.
Yeah, Food Wars is really good. The problem with this like animated like this season of Food Wars was that when the manga was finishing, the author got rushed and like everyone hated the ending.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, she had to. She went against a lot of the character building basically. So hopefully, they do revise it a bit in the anime. I've still yet to watch the very last season, but I've heard some pretty good things about it.
I want to watch this. This has been on my list for a while.
Fruit Baskets?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it's really good too.
Have you seen it? Wes? No?
What is it? Fruit Basket?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fruit Basket.
Nah.
This looks.
Hironosora, I've seen that.
Oh, I've watched that.
You watched? You guys have watched this?
So I watched like I don't know, maybe like 15 episodes of it, and I took a break for something else. I think I might start watching Ace of Diamond at that point.
Good man, that's a better show.
Hironosora, it's like pretty solid. Like it's not Kuroko's basketball, but it's still good.
I don't
Wait, anything is better than Kuroko no Basket though.
No.
Anything is better.
Wait, you're saying anything's better than Kuroko's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're insane.
No, Wes, he shoots from full court.
Okay, listen. Obviously, like we're all basketball fans. Like I grew
We're
up playing
huge basketball fans.
Like, yes, it does not make sense in terms of the game. Like it fundamentally does not make sense.
The zone?
You gotta look at it like a shonen, like power. Anime.
No.
Like, look at it's still.
Wes, if that guy, if Mr. Green Hair could shoot from full court, he would be in the NBA. Like, dude, he would be the most unstoppable player to ever exist. Like,
you just can't get distracted by that kind of stuff. Like,
I guess I grew up watching basketball for so long that like
look at it from like
I
a
can't.
entertainment standpoint.
Wes, I can't pull. I can't pull.
It is a good show. The only thing that pisses me off is that they ended it with that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Sent him on his way.
Wait.
I need more.
That movie was great. Oh, I do agree.
The movie was great. Like, don't get me like that's what I wanted from the beginning was to see all of them play.
Oh, okay.
See them all play together like into the NBA. Like keep at least give me like some closure like into their futures.
I couldn't, Wes. I can't, Wes. It just
Kagami's going to America and like this is the end of the show. Like that.
Wait, is that how it ended? Yikes!
Yeah, that's how the movie ends.
It ends with the guy finally beats all of the
group,
and he goes to America. And
that's okay. I'm sorry, bro.
Like give closure, please.
I couldn't. That pissed me off into like high hell. I just couldn't separate NBA from my mind from the show.
I get it. You're very critical.
Of basketball, I guess. Of basketball, I'm not critical of many other things, but it's.
But aren't you kind of like movie critical too?
Oh, you know I love my movies though. Like
But no. So I'm talking. So okay. So for me, I love movies, and I'm almost never like critical about them. Like they can be like not good movies to most people, and I can be like, that was like entertaining. Like I didn't hate it. Like I'm like that was a good like entertainment.
Wait, it seems like you care more about the entertainment factor than the like plot, basically.
For me, I think
there's like I think plot's still important. I think a good plot like blows my mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't have to have my mind blown by like every movie. I can be like, yeah, that was like a good way to spend 2 hours, but like not one of my favorite movies. Where most people would be like, oh my god, that movie was so bad, the plot made no sense. This didn't make no sense. This made no sense. I'm just not nitpicky like that.
I'm not super nitpicky about things like that, but it needs to have like some cohesion for me to be like, I understand what's going on.
It still has to be a decent movie. It can't just be terrible.
Like, for example, like I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious movies. It's just all popcorn. Like, but you have to separate your mind though. When you go into a movie, I think you have to be like, okay, I'm going to this movie not to be critical of it, but instead to be like, I want to enjoy it.
A good time, like just to have a good time. And then there's movies like the Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, Sherlock Holmes, where I walked into it, I'm like, wow, this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
But it make me laugh.
No, dude. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's actually the worst movie I've ever seen. It's so bad, and it's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
I thought Will Ferrell.
One of the funniest like comedy movies of all.
Step Brothers is so funny.
But dude, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's like they broke into song, and like not in a good way, not in like the Step Brothers, not in the Step Brothers like Kylie and a Wine Mixer, which made like everyone laugh and was like actually like a beautiful song from Will Ferrell, you know. But then this thing, it broke into some weird musical shit.
I like that.
Fucking terrible. The whole movie is bad.
All right, I think we need to get into our review. We're running real long at the moment, but it's been a fun episode. It's been a fun episode though, so I'll keep it going. All right, boys, let's do our God of Highschool.
I don't know where you guys want to start with this one, bro.
We have like two good reviews for the most part, and like one really bad one.
So for me, how do I explain this kindly? Well, last episode,
Stair-step, right? So
yeah, it's gonna
super high up.
So
Casey's gonna be like down
in the middle.
He's just gonna be like in the basement.
So for me, let me. How do I put this in kind words? This show has super high highs, and then some really, really low lows. Like
wedding episode.
For example. Yep. And also this final episode. Like, I want to like kind of do this in like numerical order. So last episode we reviewed on the show was episode 8. Episode 9, it was just him about to fight. Was him fighting Park Ilpio? I think Ilpio. Yeah. That's like the last thing we saw was like them about to fight, and then the shark guy attacking him and Ilpio saving him, and we seeing that he is the key, right? Is that what it is, or the guardian of the key?
Ilpio had the guard. Yeah, he's considered the guardian.
Guardian of the key.
Ilpio has the key, and but he is the guardian.
He is now the guardian of the key as of the last episode. As you know, these reviews are always going to be spoilers. Just going to put that out there. But I thought seeing Mugen like struggle was kind of cool. To see the leader, the head of the God of Highschool.
But at the same time, I think he was going up against like the head of like the cult or whatever.
The cult or whatever they're called, yeah.
Well, yeah, he went up against like the antagonist lead.
Yeah,
like
and
he showed that there's like many strong people out there.
Yeah,
that are, like top tier. Like it's got its own.
But not really though, because last episode or the last 2 episodes, we see a Jin like no other. I thought Kirito was strong. You thought All Might was strong. Hell no.
Mean, but to be fair, there was like one quote from the very last episode.
Yeah.
Mugen Park said, "He's not like us. That's not board power. He's an actual god." Yeah. And that's what, like it turned me off from the show.
It was pretty.
It turned me off.
What? Okay, it was chills. It was chills, Wes. I'll give you that, because I'm like, oh damn, he's that guy, right? Like, I was smiling from like ear to ear, but at the same time,
bro,
he's so strong. Like,
Exactly. I don't see any room for progression, bro.
Bro,
Like,
how do you get stronger? That's my only problem. I think we're on the same wavelength when it comes to that, though. It's like the fight scene with him inside, when you see the hand come down and stomp on Park, when Park was like teasing him, trying to train him to fight mid-fight. Remember when he said he can... This was Park Ilpio's way of like helping Jin grow up.
Yeah, got stronger or whatever.
Yeah, to finally release his Chakyo. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but they're borrowed power. Well, borrowed power for everyone else, but bro, they literally called him a god. How do you go from there? Where do you go from there? Is my problem.
I gotta be careful because I told Tony this. So I watched that episode and I immediately said I need to know more about Jin and what this is.
Okay.
So I googled it, and it basically brought up like the wiki of like
the webtoon. Okay.
Yeah, basically, it didn't give me like everything. Like I didn't get all the answers I wanted, but it gave me a good overview. And the one thing I will say to like Tooney's point, how does he progress, or like how does he develop?
Yeah.
Let's just say he can develop.
That's ridiculous. Then
he can get strong.
That's ridiculous. Then
this is one of the points I wanted to hit on, and it was basically like the power scaling, bro. Because Ilpio was supposed to be like he has the power of the Nine-Tailed Fox or whatever, and according to like the whole legend, the Nine-Tailed Fox is supposed to like challenge like the powers of gods or whatever. And if they have someone that smart or that strong getting beat like super easily already, bro, like I'm like concerned for the power scaling of the actual show. Yeah,
I also heard in the episode 10 or the episode 9, right? There's no episode. His fight with Ilpio. What was that? 11?
Like 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago. So basically, what they said is, I heard people like tweeting about it and people like in Reddit saying that they showed his power too early.
I don't know if they showed his power.
I think that was what people were saying. That was like they showed. No. Jin. They showed his power too early. Like apparently.
They just give a tease of it though, because like
Wes,
there was
that is not a tease.
Also, nah. So they didn't. So the way like the way I see this season, right, is this season was like the hype. Let's like get right into the show, like get everyone, like all the viewers, like
I guess
entwined in the series and into it. And I think it's gonna back off a little bit and like explain more in the second season.
I hope that's what happens.
In the credits, you saw like some explanation starting to kind of come about, and like so I think it's gonna develop more, and people are gonna like learn more.
I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. To be honest, like
for me being like. I was overall like very positive about the show. Like the fight
was too.
Amazing.
I think
there was like the plot moved fast, yes, but I still felt like I understood what was going on. Maybe not to the depth that like most people would like to, or I would necessarily like to understand everything. But like I was still like I understood everything. It wasn't like wow that moved too fast. I don't know what's going on. Like so, I knew what was going on.
I think what happened is that me, TJ, and Toonie talked about this earlier in we talk about this a lot actually because. It's like a reoccurring thing. It's that most animes will pull 3 to 4 chapters per episode of a show. God of Highschool is pulling 8 to 9 chapters per episode. So you're missing a lot of like key details and like skipping over things that really should add to the show, but aren't being added because they're just trying to get to the action. And I get that. Like you said, this is supposed to be the hype season, right? Mm-hmm. The ridiculous fight.
It's like it's the hook. It's like the very big hook.
Yeah.
Like
so
most like animes or like shows in general, they give you like a little hook at the beginning.
This show
gave you the fucking fully baited gigantic like shark hook. It said, "Come in, baby!" Like, this
but like,
goat show.
How are they gonna live up to that now? Though that's the next step. Though it's like, how do you?
There's definitely expansion to be done.
Yeah. Okay, well,
I read it. It's
I hope.
Good. So listen, and one thing I just want to point out, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there was a little like slide in the show, and it said the Monkey King.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That's his title.
There's other kings, I assume.
Clue at what he is.
Yeah. I guess there's other kings or queens out there now.
Yeah. So, and if you think about Asian mythology, there's a Monkey King.
I see.
I don't know if you like. I don't know if I
Vulame.
say it. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about.
I get there's more.
It's not really a spoiler, but it's just yeah, it's the Monkey King.
Yeah, there's more.
Yeah, that's what I thought, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's more, and I'm excited for it. I think that I'm giving the show a 7 as a whole. And that's a being kind 7 to me. It's the fights.
I don't think it was that bad.
No, it's a 7.
This goes back to the Hunter x Hunter arc, like the major plot lines distracting me from the rest of them.
Yeah.
But the fights are so good in God of Highschool.
They're pretty nuts.
The friend camaraderie is like very good.
I like that.
And like that distracts me so much. Like I want to give the show like a 9. Right, but like it probably isn't actually a 9 quality because some of the gaps are there, and like dude, like I said, the wedding episode, like it was like kind of like
it was a waste.
Like the end was good because that was like when he like knocked the shit out of Mira, and like you're trying to figure out why he did that. And like obviously it tells you why in the next. But that episode was just like it also introduced you to like the hidden cult. Right?
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
Was, like, but like, it's just like why?
So for me, from like episode 9 to 13, this show is pretty nuts. Like that's like the start of the Ilpio fight to like the end of the show. The fight scene quality is like up there. Like dude, that was such good fight.
The episode where he went to his grandpa, the bait grandpa,
bro,
and then showed up for the fight,
and when he was mad.
And it was just like back and forth between him beating the shit out of the clan member,
but
and doing the same thing. His fight and
bro, he was to see Jin angry was pretty damn cool. Like seeing angry Jin was like, yo, this dude.
Bro, the fights, like all the fights, just like top tier, dude. Like for me, like it's like that. Like I think Attack on Titan, the like. grapple fights are insane.
Yeah, the grapple fights are dope.
Those fights are so cool looking, and like obviously like some of like the GOAT like Dragon Ball Z Naruto fights are like obviously like amazing too.
Yeah,
like you gotta put God of Highschool. Like some of these fights, like I think are close to the top tier fights.
The SAO fights,
but for this last episode, bro, I thought they went like. I think it was a bit too outlandish, bro.
Yeah.
Like this dude extended the pole, he started running on the pole, bro, and then he punched him and
he just like didn't get hit back.
Bro, he went all might on him, bro. He just went like every single punch was like the all-American smash, like.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I felt like he was so much stronger than the opponent that like there was no question. Like it didn't even give you a chance to be worried at what's gonna happen.
I just gotta point one thing out, bro. So the opponent basically had like the power of the key or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's that's the power to kill a god, basically.
Yeah. And
if Mori's fucking this guy up this hard already, bro, when he has the power of the key, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. I don't know.
So
like, I don't understand.
From what I understood, like you remember the girl who restored their arms? That was cool too. I forgot about that. She you remember her doing she was doing like her like summary explaining it at the end when he woke up from 3 months. She was explaining that there is a key, but does that also mean that Jin is a key? So he is also capable of. I'm not so sure.
I'm trying to figure out how much is explained and how much wasn't. But
they explained that
the rule is humans cannot kill God.
Yeah.
But Jin's not a human. That's the problem.
Correct.
He's a god.
Yeah.
Correct. So Jin can obviously do whatever the fuck he wants. But, so the whole point of the key is that's the only way
to pull them out of
kill a god.
Yeah.
But, see, that wraps up like the entire storyline for me because now you can understand why they held the tournament, and that was like one of the biggest like gripes I had with the entire
why a tournament
season,
why a tournament exists.
It's like you can understand why
did they want the key. That's what like you asked me that like multiple times. You're like, why do they want the key? Like what? Like obviously we know it's super powerful and it's very important, but why? And like why do the antagonists want it?
And
that's true.
Now we know the antagonists want their god to be the only god. They don't think other people should have God's powers, and so they just want to kill all the gods and have their god be.
They're in for a rude awakening, bro. Jin's absolutely gonna stomp on them, and then that brings up the end credits scene where it's Jin's grandfather.
Jin, you gotta beat me.
You gotta beat me now,
what does
which.
That mean?
Shit, I can only assume they're gonna. I feel like they said that he'll be a great sacrifice. I think that's one of the like things they said during the end there when he's in the prison.
Yeah.
That he'll be a great sacrifice, and I assume
That's
that he'll
to make a god or something.
to make a god or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Grandpa's got some kind of power.
Yeah, dude. And then like okay, so some of the things that I like about the show is the way they hype up Jin though. It's like, you know, when they're like, when like Mujin is like, yeah, when like the commissioner's like, what did his grandfather make, right? And then like they're explaining like how nuts Jin is. Like, yeah, you know, we have borrowed power. He really is a god. Like all the hyping that they do for Jin is super dope, and I love the way that they bring it into the show.
Dude, there's some epic moments in that show, dude. It's just like the little like spots, the filler spots, just aren't quite there, you know? Like,
yeah.
I think that's why Tony's so mad, because he sees the potential, right? You see the.
I will say, bro, like they did a great job of like bringing me back every week. That's the one thing I will say about the show, bro. Like I was always excited to see like the new episode. You know?
Like even the wedding episode, like they gave you an ending. You're like, oh, I gotta see what happens.
You have to see what happens next. Yeah.
Nah, definitely. I think it only. I don't know. I feel like it might slow down a bit without the actual God of Highschool part.
Yeah.
In the second and future seasons.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see like the development of the plotline. Obviously.
I hope they go on some kind of adventure. Like, I mean, I hope.
Part of me still kind of wishes it was just like some Taekwondo, like MMA fighting.
Fighting in the gym. Yeah.
That was like the premise of the
another one, something similar to that you're thinking of would be Megalobox. That's actually really good. Megalobox was basically this kid from like the slums, and he like comes up and like fights like the grand champion, and it's just boxing, straight up boxing. Super dope. It's like super cyberpunky pretty much. It's like old school tech, like being brought in to assist in fighting. But that's God of Highschool, guys. It's a 7 for me. That's my subs no dubs ranking for the year.
It's probably a 7 for me as well.
I'm giving it a 9.
There are moments.
I'm easy to entertain. Can I say? My brain's tiny, I guess.
That's fair, man.
I don't think it's tiny. I think you just you know what you like. You know what you like. Yeah.
I'm willing to look past the flaws.
Yeah.
To see the beauty.
Oh, I am too. Like I'm willing to look past the flaws and realize like some of those fight scenes are just absolutely stunning. But there's just some things I couldn't forgive, like the fact that a lot of the webtoon readers are saying that there's a lot of missed stuff, things that are not in the right place. I think some of the early fight scenes were a little weird. Like, you know, they weren't actually showing the damage. It was just like him like flying by the person, and all of a sudden, doo, and you're like, oh, you're like, so some of the early things were a little weird, but towards the end, like, production quality just kept hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. I couldn't complain for like from 9 to 13. I don't think I had a single complaint.
Yeah. That's
so.
fair.
I mean, the last episode. Sorry, he was a little too overpowered, but okay, that's being generous. He was way too overpowered.
Super overpowered.
Okay, though.
Like Wes, I can't.
He's not a human. He's not a human. You just gotta accept that.
Speaking of overpowered, Sword Art Online, Mr. Overpowered himself, Mr. Kirito, spends half.
We need to get to flip spots here. I get to be the Debbie Downer.
half the season asleep. That voice actor better have not been paid for the first half of the season, because I could have made the noises that he was making. You should have paid me. Yeah. But Asuna, as usual, is wife material, and it's...
My background is Asuna and Kirito right now.
Alice was a really cool character this season. Berkeley was also really dope. Short time in the show, but pretty impactful. I really enjoyed it. Yujio, I don't even shit. I love Yujio, but
I'm surprised about the amount of like references that like came up for him this season. You know? Like,
yeah.
Like Kirito's not over it, obviously.
Yeah.
Like this was a make-believe person with a conscience, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That he actually was attached to, like it's actually like his brother, basically.
Yeah.
But it was just a virtual conscience the whole time.
Yeah, but to him, it's like he actually grew up with this guy, so like you can sort of like understand that like emotional like attachment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You want me to go into my thoughts?
Yeah, please.
I'll start at a low bar, and you guys can build it up a little bit.
You might be surprised at how low this bar goes.
Unpopular opinion. I never really liked too much of the Alicization arc, so like any of the seasons about it.
You didn't like the first Alicization?
I enjoyed the initial stuff up until they kind of started fighting the administrator. Like there was some good parts in there. Like I really enjoyed like their time at the academy thing, the school. I thought that was the best part of the entire Alicization arc, basically. But like overall, I just like didn't like it that much, and like Sword Art Online in general is just like first whatever episode, like the first initial arc, like
first 12 episodes,
some like GOAT anime, right?
That is,
and then like the fairy arcs and stuff, like I liked most of it. Like
I didn't hate it. I'll be honest, I didn't hate it.
Pretty much all of it up until the Gun Gale Online.
You didn't like Gun Gale? Nope, I liked Gun Gale. Rewatch it, man. You gotta rewatch it. I rewatched it recently. I think I loved it.
We had like the arc with Yui, or what was the dying girl?
Oh, that was a good arc too.
Like Yuki, that was a phenomenal arc. That's like the closest thing to the first season it ever.
Yeah.
And then like what do we hit after? We hit something. I don't know. Well, then like Kirito gets obviously like stabbed with the drug, which leads into the Alicization arc thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like the show just never like picked up for me. Like I watched every episode. I was like, some of these fights are sick.
That's the thing, right? This show always has.
I just didn't like
bro,
it.
I know what the problem is for you, bro. The problem is that it's Sword Art Online, bro. That's the literal problem. The thing with Alicization, bro, in the beginning, it didn't feel like a Sword Art Online, like it felt like something new. It didn't feel like he was gonna be super overpowered, super broken, you know, like
he was cutting a tree down. He was cutting a tree down for like a lot of the season.
It portrayed like an entirely different storyline, different characters, and like it was something that was good, you know. It wasn't like the typical harem. Oh, like I gotta do this for Kirito. I gotta make sure Kirito notices me, bro. It's like it was.
Side note, Kirito fucks, dude.
Oh, he does, bro. He does.
But he's still loyal. He's still loyal.
He's somehow still loyal.
We should all look up to Kirito. Kirito's got girls on his arm left and right. Like even his fake sister wants him.
Wait, even in the bro, he had girls.
Yeah, dude, he's got like little girls taking care of him. That like
Kirito's
senpai. But, like, dude, he's like, nope, Asuna is wife. I will not look away from her.
I mean, can you blame him though?
Respect that. Like,
can you?
After seeing all his options, bro, I still choose Asuna.
Yeah, I mean, Alice came close. Alice came close, bro.
Season, oh, and the new continuation with the different like levels of the floor, like the new season coming up.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Progressive.
Because the ending of Alicization arc didn't leave me wanting more. I don't like. They got picked up in those spaceships, and I said, I don't want more. Nope, stop.
I guess that leads into where I come into my opinions as well. Shit. First half of this season, without Kirito and them, I don't even know. From Alicization to part 2, they just jumped right into the action, and you had no clue what happened before. You're just kind of like, so there's a war. They didn't explain. They just dropped you in with no backstory. I believe there was a recap episode, but I know, but you had to have remembered it, but you couldn't. They didn't just.
You're talking about for this
from
second half.
Yeah,
right?
from last half to this half.
Like if you didn't remember the initial part where the Americans break in and they go in, get their characters, and they start convincing the evil side, the Puglists and all of them to help them fight the good people on the other side and try to break into the kingdom world, right?
Yeah.
If you don't remember that part, yes, the second
you're
half
just jumped in.
You're like, what's going? It's just straight action. Everyone started fucking everyone up.
So, shit. I think we talked about this in the first episode. There's literally tentacle action and they just instantly.
Everyone was uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're just whoa. I understand.
SAO, like SAO's had that like every season.
Yeah, I understand. Like the other guy who was trying to like with Asuna when she was asleep.
Yeah,
like
it's definitely a very like
part of like the whole like Japanese like taboo like culture.
Yeah, 100%. Like I get that. Like it hit you so quick. You're just like, whoa. Like if you're not used to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But towards the end of the SAO, like when Kirito came back, I mean, come on, the man grew his arm back after it being cut with the power of Yu-Gi-Oh. Like he lost his arm again. Yu-Gi-Oh cuts him, and I'm like, damn, like. He really had the power of anime and friendship on his side. Like,
oh yeah,
it happens every year, and like you're not surprised, but like it's always fun. Like you can't lie. You watch SEO this long, you kind of know you're bound to expect him to dual wield some swords and just absolutely kick ass.
Someone, right?
Yeah, so it was kind of fun to see it again. They actually did a decent job. I will commend them on this. They kind of brought back the laughing coffin. You start to understand where they came from and who that person is. So
wait, you could commend that, but at the same time you could also take points away because like it's just been too long for them to do that, bro.
It took a while.
That was literally
like,
season 1, bro.
It's like fanfare, right?
Yeah,
like,
it was a fanfare.
Not necessarily like the right plot decision or like choice, but it's like for all you fans that were fans from day one.
Yeah.
And, like,
here, this is this.
That like this is like an explanation of like what happened, like who this is, and like what went down, and everyone's like, holy shit, that was really. I'm glad I know that now. Like that was cool.
Exactly. It's a nice thing to add on. It's a nice anecdote, pretty much, right? But then all the in person on the ship stuff really bored me. I didn't care about. I honestly didn't care about it at all. Yeah. I understand there was like risk and like people dying, and it's like, I just don't care though.
Oh yeah, that was not my favorite either.
But to see Alice come to the real world was super dope.
I enjoyed that part a lot.
Yeah.
Her standing up for herself, saying, "I'm not a robot. I'm actually I think, and I have like neurons firing. I have a flux light, right? And like,
and she has like feelings, like
and you know,
her speech to Kirito's parents, like
So some of it was pretty. Like, SEO did a decent job this season. Like. You know, it would be unfair of me to give God of Highschool a 7 and this also a 7 because I think God of Highschool was better overall than this. Mm-hmm. But this also gets a 7 for me. Like, it was a good season. But I'm really excited for what happens next. Like, I don't care about the space arc. I'm talking about the
going
name.
Back to Aincrad.
Going back to Progressive.
Well, thing is, bro, like you can't really treat that as a sequel, though.
No, it's not a sequel.
No. It's just like an extra fanfare season.
I just hope that season. I hope they stay true to, and like actually take us nicely through all the.
They're gonna take it very slow. I will say.
I don't care.
Novels, bro.
Wait.
It's a good thing that they are because.
Yeah, I'm glad that they are.
Novels are like 5 volumes per floor or something like that. Like they do it really slow.
That's dope.
A year, right?
Yeah.
So like, we got like what 12 episodes, and they went through the whole year. Like
so much more. Like, that's gonna be cool.
Skip floors. Like I want to know what happened.
I want to know what happened.
I want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a big WoW fan, so I mean, you must have loved the floor aspect, the clearing mobs,
dude.
The grind, right? Like the grind of it.
I still would love an SAO like MMO, dude. Like,
it would be dope. Imagine, bro. We just gotta wait for VR, bro. We need real VR so we can all get into our own.
If VR MMOs and like VR gaming actually becomes like that, dude, I'm so excited.
I'd be hooked too.
It will not happen in our generation, but
I know it wouldn't.
But will happen eventually.
It would be pretty dope, though. Like, Toons, I guess you get to give us the final.
Well, for me, bro. I've watched SAO too many times, too many years to like know like what to expect, bro. So when I'm giving my rating, bro, there's gonna be an SAO rating and like a general rating. SAO,
okay.
Bro, I'd give the season an 8 because it did a really good job of continuing off from the last season from Alicization. It finally gave some context as to like what they were fighting for because they all said like it was an AI or whatever, but like seeing like Alice come to the real world and like sort of like a human form and body that's like physical was like something that they didn't really put an emphasis on, but it was really cool to do that. And of course, Kirito's Merkin Fools, so like,
it's fun.
You know what you're gonna get with an SAO series, but comparing it to like regular anime and like regular anime standards, bro, it's like a 6, dude. Like, it's typical SAO, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh yeah, I didn't even give my rating, but like Alicization, like a 6.
Yeah.
The whole Alicization.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
I just didn't. I didn't think it was that good. Honestly, like
first half.
First season SAO is a 10. You know, and then it's like maybe like an 8 or something, like for the fairies, like that kind of stuff. Like,
wait, you would put the fairies above the first part of Alicization?
Yes.
No, dude, you can't do that, bro.
You can't. Yeah. I can't. I can't just.
I'm talking like the whole, like, okay, like.
From episode 12 after, from season 1, bro.
Part of me like mixes the fairies with when they did like the merging of the fairy and Ironcrad. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all fairy. Yeah, I give that like an 8. Like I thought it was really good.
I don't know, man.
Alicization, the first half, I thought was some of the best. Was some of the best SAO. Not best anime, but best SAO out there. Like that stuff was so good. The administrator stuff was a little weird, but the fight with Berkoli and like some of like the actual fight scenes were so good.
Wait,
and like
I think with the first part of sorry to cut you off, but the first part of like Alicization, bro, like there was actual consequence in SAO, and they've like never done that before.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's definitely the most vulnerable Kirito's ever.
Yeah,
it's not even Kirito, bro. It's like the other characters too, bro. You see like Ronnie and Tisei's reaction to like Yu-Gi-Oh dying or whatever too, bro. It's not just like Kirito, you know. It's like they finally took a big leap, and it sort of like paid off.
I was hoping they would eventually keep that way, but
yeah,
I think they're. It feels like they were. It feels like they were kind of forced into just going back to what they're used to.
That's the problem. I really wish they didn't backtrack on all of like the supernatural like Kirito like regrowing limbs and whatever. Like I wish they didn't do that, bro, because the season was so good, bro.
It was SAO. That's the problem with it.
At the end of the day, it is SAO, and that's like their whole like niche or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Wes, any parting words?
Ooh, love me some anime. Looking forward to Haiku in a week. Gonna be lit. Can't wait.
I can't wait for the next. I can't wait for the next episode of this show.
Definitely one of the like highlights of anime in the last like year or two, whatever. It's however long.
I don't even know how to explain it. Like so,
it's just so good, dude.
Who would have thought a show about volleyball would like be a cultural change? People are interested in volleyball. Like, it is so like everyone is so entertained by it, and I am too. Like they do such a good job of storytelling and explaining why.
I would have watched any other sports animes if it wasn't for Haiku. I was kind of I'd seen them available on Crunchyroll and like Netflix and shit, and I was like, nah, it's not. There's no way. Like I was a full-bred athlete my entire life playing real sports. Like I'm not gonna watch some cartoon sports.
And then you were just like
I was like watch Haiku. I'm like I love this. It's like everything about it is like so good. And then
tell me how relatable this like real sports and like real like training and whatever, you know.
I mean, it's true. Like you bust your ass. Like I played travel baseball. Like I practiced for 2 to 3 hours a day in the burning sun of July, and like played games. We'd play like tournaments. It'd be like a weekend long tournament, and we'd play like 6 games in a tournament or whatever. And like
and then to lose,
you have to grind your ass off. Like you're tired. You're like hot. You're sunburnt. Like it's a struggle, and like. If you want to be good at a sport, like you gotta work your ass off, and like that's what like obviously Hinata had a lot of like pure talent, and like there's not a ton of people.
Yeah, he was just raw talent, right? And then
like there are people, like don't get me wrong, like some of the basketball players like we're seeing come up are like pure athletes, right? Like they're not necessarily like your standard like basketball fundamentals, right? Like they don't have like some of them aren't good shooters, like they just can dunk the ball. And like you see some of that in Hinata, but like he works at it, and like it just shows like the difference. Like there are people that are just like blessed with bodies and athleticism of LeBron James. Like LeBron James is very skilled at basketball now, but I think at one point he just like, I can just dunk on whoever I want, and that's how he went. But that's
he had to eventually find a way
that's
to.
kind of the difference in sports, you know. And, like you see.
But it's the same thing in like haiku, right? Like.
Yeah, Kageyama's the pure like he worked at it. Like he's like pretty gifted. Like he's like somewhat tall. Like he's probably like he's like 6'1" and like American height, or whatever. But he also like worked his ass off. Like he was good. Like he worked. Like he not just was talented with no like fundamentals.
So it's pretty much like saying, you know, and now he's eventually, as the seasons have gone on, you see him having to learn to be more visual about the game. You can't just be all talent.
Yeah,
like that's just not how the world is.
You saw them go apart from each other for a second to like get their timing together, because you know how they had to finally open up his eyes to like, like, you saw the same like Ace of the Diamond. You see that.
I love that show.
You see someone like who has like, a little bit of talent, right? But he like still doesn't have much at all. Like he just throws hard. And like in baseball, like just throwing hard isn't going to get you everywhere. Like you got to have control. You got to have like breaking balls and off speed to like throw people off their balance. Like you can't just throw fastballs or you're gonna get creamed. For sure. Yeah. So it's definitely like it is relatable to like real sports. Like it's not that far off. Like there's definitely some like a little bit of stretching just for like storytelling purposes, but they're good. Like they have the Japanese anime qualities of having just great stories and great character development. Just, like you gotta give it to them.
Like, shit. Both those shows are so good. I didn't think I'd like sports anime as much as those two shows have caused me to like sports anime.
Yeah. Wait, you guys even watch a running anime? Like, what the fuck?
Dude, I hate running. But
if you wanted me to talk shit about like cross country and track, I can do that shit all day. Like,
but
dude,
Wes.
In high school, like. We played like the skill, like we played the skill sports, like baseball team. We just shit on the track team. We'd be like, you guys are fucking like not actually athletic. You guys just run fast. Like you have no coordination. Like you couldn't play. You have to like hit a ball and like going 80, 90 miles an hour and like catch a ball like off a bat coming 100 miles an hour.
Hey,
but you
Wes,
guys are running in circles.
Wes, I gotta know, is Furia's pitch actually considered fast, or is that like MLB fast?
I gotta remember. I think Fury
105?
Like 89 miles per hour. No. I think it's like 89. Well, it's like 105
How
kilometers.
fast does...
Yeah, what's kilometers?
I think I definitely looked it all up at one point. I think it was like 89 miles per hour.
No, 155 kilometers an hour.
Convert that.
155 kph. That is, he is throwing 96.
Yeah, that's not happening at what is he 15 or 16? Yeah, so obviously, okay, like I came from like a small Northwest Ohio, so like I played with a lot of country schools, a lot of smaller town schools. So like for us, like throwing mid 80s was fast, probably. Like most people like obviously aren't like that good in like country small towns. Like big towns are where all like most of the talent usually is.
Of course.
There's like you get your diamonds in the rough, of course. So I'd say like fast for like high school. Most high school is like high 80s, like 88.
I don't think I've ever seen a 96 though. Like
yeah, that's not happening in high school unless you're a freak of nature. So I would say it's definitely not. That part is definitely not realistic.
Okay, I was just curious. I was so curious.
Especially in Japan,
smaller bodies.
Japanese are very good at baseball. They're very fundamental. That's why they're so good. Like you see it in the Little League World Series if you ever watch it.
I have actually.
Japanese teams are always very good because they are so fundamental. Like they'll do reports of like their training. They train like 12 hours a day. Like it's ridiculous. Like it is a full-time job to be like a Japanese. Serious about Japanese sports. That's just their work ethic. But they don't usually throw super hard. Like I think once they get older, obviously, like their bodies get bigger and stronger, and they can start throwing like 90s. But that's just not going to happen.
Yeah. All right, guys. Before we run on for too long, I think that should be the end of the episode. Thank you, Wes, for coming on extremely short notice. I appreciate it, man, and hopefully
I can talk all day.
I know you can.
one of my specialties, but I'm a good talker.
You're always welcome to be back on the show. I hope you're on soon. This has been Subs No Dubs episode 7.
I got
Later,
one thing
guys.
to say before we leave. Tooney's 5'3".
Oh
Yikes!
Get us out of here.